Good morning, it's David at SPX Capital. Okay, I didn't get to do a weekend update, some technical problems yesterday evening. Sorry for that, so this is going to be a quick run through of what I see. SPX broke out the high base on Friday, obviously. Looks extremely bullish, but remember we're coming off 4 up days in a row. At some stage that's going to need to consolidate or pull back and test that base as support. I sort of favour on that basis we get a doji today. The other thing that has me cautious is Trin was 2.5 for most of Friday. A lot of buying pressure did come into the market, but look what happened when we broke the high base. It's not like we ran a million miles and squeezed the heck out of the shorts. The fact is, there was people selling into this. There was supply coming into the market. The bulls had every reason to be, hey, we got the bears. But look what's happened. Price broke a high base and moved all of 7 points. Okay, it moved all of 7 points. I have 2 words for that. It's called heavy going. Okay, the other thing that happened, of course, on Friday was there wasn't a super positive breath. Advancers decliners didn't take off like a skyrocket. Of course that means it's got some more room, so let's not get too in love with calls and saying this is what's going to happen, because then you miss what's really happening. But watch advancers decliners today. I'm sort of favoring a tight range day. Let's see what happens at this resistance area of 1031. We clear that and close over that, we're probably off to 1050 fairly easily. But my own approach to today is, if we look like we're going to be breaking out and we're going to continue to break out and continue to push higher, it's to at the end of the day either close my longs or hedge those longs, because I'm just not entirely convinced. No, that sounds wishy-washy, but that's that's trading life. That's the way it is. So let's watch this 1031 area today to see what happens on it. If we take a quick look at the SPY, SPY, we see that we came up and we've been challenging this trend line all along the way. But look what happened on Friday. It's boom. We've tagged it. You can push around this trend line and say we closed over it and this, that, and the other. And the volume was positive, but still there is supply. The tape just had supply in it on Friday evening. That's the bottom line. Okay, so let's look at the overnight action from Sunday afternoon Eastern to right now, which is about a half an hour before the market opens on the ES. Look what happened in Asia last night. It jumped 3.5%. What has the ES done? It's jumped all of 5 points. I mean, the bears who were selling into the close on Friday, and there was selling into it, I could see it, feel so panicked that they've driven price up all of 5 points. Okay, I'm not saying that they're not going to get it in the nuts today. I'm just saying that the overnight short squeeze to an Asia rally of nearly 4% transpired to be all of 5 points on the ES. So that's that's definitely something to watch. We talked about 1032 on cash. Well, look at what the high was on the ES so far, 1032.5. Okay, 1032.5. Let's see what happens today. If that level comes into play. I've also got 1039.35 on ESU9 acting as some form of resistance today. It's a key level. I think I do think it's going to come into play. If 1032.5 is taken out, that would probably be the next stop. Then I'm really looking for the clue as to what happened next. Do we doji and come back underneath this 1032 level? Let's wait and see. Okay, moving on to the dollar. Let's take a look at what happened. I flashed an intraday update on Friday, and we come back, we retested this trend line, we found support, some volume came in. Nothing spectacular on the volume side. The volume got fairly heavy in the morning, down around this area. The activity took place down here, and then it just petered off out during the day. Overnight we can see, and then in London this morning as well, we can see that the bulls, if you like, were able to drive the price up, but not thus far above yesterday or Friday's open. But interestingly, for all the mantra of the gold bugs, etc., etc., they haven't been able to drive it down. Let's just pop in a quick trend line on this chart here. Boom, 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 and it's sort of wedgy looking, okay? It's sort of wedgy looking. We gotta wait and see what happens here, I think. But like I said on Friday, 97% of forex traders are bearish on the dollar. How many of those guys are short? How many of those guys are short? And what's going to happen, given that the big decline that we've seen on the daily, if the dollar does start to catch a bid? Very important for the markets too. Don't think that the markets and the dollar can't rally together. It has happened before. It has happened before. If they take out this 77 level, we're probably off to 76, at least in a heartbeat. You know, maybe the bears need to get it out of the system one more time. Maybe there needs to be a total capitulation in the dollar. It's one to watch. It's at a key area. Markets every day are at a key area. But this wasn't a key area for the dollar. It was testing resistance. This wasn't a key area for the dollar. It tested resistance and failed. This is the key area because it's testing support, and we want to see if that support holds. So today is more important than Friday, etc., etc., etc. Here is a what's this? A 1 hour chart of the dollar. Very interestingly, like I said, we come down, we tagged that support line. I haven't moved it. But it is going to shuffle around slightly on the hourly, but you can see that pretty much we got there, and look at we got all this volume coming in. We've pulled back, and the volume remained light. This is something that's interesting to note as well. If we take a Fibonacci retracement, we draw it from the low to the high, we see that they started to pick it up around the 50 and the 618 line. It never got back to test its low. It just didn't get back there. I'm not saying that it won't, but if it really started to come off this trend line today, try and get rid of that. Oops. Delete drawing. If it started to get back there today, okay. But if it starts to come off it, and particularly if it starts to take out this high and it starts to take out this trend line on the daily, watch for a move into 78. Watch for a move into 78. And the important thing, of course, about that move into 78 is boom. It's outside this short-term resistance line that we've created for ourselves. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. If you're not a forex trader, you know what? You can still take part in this if the dollar does rally. Watch for metals, watch for miners. Pot, that's going to be a good short. Ideally, if it fills its gap, look around the metals, miners, and commodity stocks because they will also react. I've just redrawn this trend line here. It's a whole lot. I prefer this one a whole lot more. So let's go. Let's see